category. All right, welcome to SQL. Today we will continue from where we stopped the last time, and we are going to dive into aggregate functions. Aggregate functions. So you know how you aggregate numbers, you aggregate figures, you aggregate things. You're trying to make sense of them. Aggregate function or aggregate function, it's the way most data professionals use to make sense of their data. So in this aggregate function, you'll be seeing things like, you'll be using things like average, max, mean, count. What else again? Sum. What else again? Can you remind me of other aggregate function? Everybody counts money here at least. Average, mean, max, count. All right, let's start with this one. So please pay attention to this. When you have tables, when you have a table you want to run aggregate function on, so let's say we have this sum, sales, and this is like a name. You will need to mute yourself, Casey.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry.
So let's say we have sales, we have name here. Which one of these actually works for aggregate function? So when you see name here, this is somebody's name. Everybody here, this is our name column. Of course, this is the sales we made. So by default, this will be number. It's numeric. This will be numeric, and this will be categorical. This is called numeric. You could call it quantitative column. This is categorical because it's not a number. Another one that could be tagged as categorical is ID. So you know ID will be represented as a number, like 0. ID could be represented as a number, but it's not a number per se, because you cannot do, apart from count, you cannot do arithmetic operation on it. Take note of this, everyone. ID is not categorized as a quantitative value column because although it's a number, it's usually number or sometimes number blended with letter, you cannot perform arithmetic operation on it. That's why it's not categorized as a quantitative variable or quantitative field or column, any name you put it. By default, name is usually a categorical variable, and then sales are quantitative or numeric variable. Now, what really happens here? Perform in any of them, can perform we can perform any of this on quantitative variable. Can do sum on quantitative variable, count on quantitative variable, minimum, maximum, and average. But on the categorical variable, we can only do counts. Clear, guys? I'll go again. For columns that are just numbers, that's what we call quantitative variable or field. I could be using field, variable, columns interchangeably. So for columns that are numbers, we can perform any of this, any aggregate function on it. We can look for the average of the entire numbers, and look for the maximum, the minimum, count, and the sum. Or like sum is also another thing for total. However, for columns that are not numbers or not numerical, in other words, the data type is not integer, you cannot perform arithmetic operation on it. You can only do count on it. Categorical variable, counts, including dates anyway. Quantitative variable, you can do everything. Is this clear, guys? Please I need response immediately, so we'll move on. Is this clear? So I can move on.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
All right, beautiful. So let's move on and start using them. So we call this aggregate function because they bring our data together and make meaning out of it. They bring our data together and make meaning out of it. Let's do some of this aggregation. All right, so I opened this column. I want to select, because you know how to select top, everyone. Remember this thing is selected. The table the database I'm working on is selected. So take note of that. Most people prefer writing their query from starting their query at from, so that it will always reference the column easily. So, and that's also a good thing anyway. Since I have selected the database, I don't need to put it here. Please take note of the things I am doing. And you can do this, you may not do this, but I think it's better you do it this way. I don't like putting this curly brace, but sometimes you have a column, a table that it's not together. The word is not together, then you will need to do that. So I will leave it the way it is. Select all, you know what all means, remember? From table, and that's just a simple. This thing now is the same thing as everything you're seeing here. So I will execute my code. Now, this is my code. If I want to know, viewers, please pay attention. My code has been executed or still executing. Oh my God, I didn't. So you see what is happening? I didn't select the top. So it actually executed everything. You can see it's 31,465. So to make part of query optimization is that you select what you need. You don't need to query everything so that it will run at a faster pace. So I would have selected top 1,000. Okay. Top 1,000. Now let's see how fast it was. So this is top 1,000. That makes it faster. All right, so let's see. For this aggregate function, we don't need this stop. For now, we don't need this stop. I want to know the total number of rows that are on this table. I want to know, you don't do this in SQL. This is not the standard way to do it. You don't come here and check. It looks easy, but that's not the standard. You will need to write your query to show what you want to do. All right, so what do I want to do? I want to count I want to count. Remember, as I've always told you, I like using this place. So I will start with count. Even though min and max is the first there, I will start with count. So count is a function. Remember what I said, count is a function. So SQL, just like every other programming language, comes inbuilt with functions that are very handy for you to use. You don't need to go and start rebuilding your own. And if it comes with a function, use that function, don't build your own. So if every function you need to in your workplace is actually pre-built in SQL, then go and use it. Only create a function, user-defined function, if it is not in SQL. But if it's there, use the one in SQL. It is more efficient, easier to use, and the best. It is the standard. So the way it is, so what happens with function is, you usually have the name of the function followed by a bracket. So that bracket means it will take something. It will take something. Please, if your background, if you're muted, if you're not muted, please mute yourself until I ask you to mute. So functions usually functions usually comes with a name and a bracket. And this bracket means you can take an argument. So, and some of these arguments it can take is the column name. Select count. So you want to count all the rows in the column, or you want to count the rows in a particular column. If you want to count all the rows in a column, all you need to do is you say count. This will give you count everything in all the columns. And when you do it this way, execute and return just one number for you. It'll execute and return just one number for you. This is the total number of rows for all the columns. We are here for all the columns on this table, and you can see it here. But when looking at this doesn't necessarily make sense. I could just go ahead and say I want it for a particular column. I will expand the columns so as to get the table names. So I want it for sales order. I want it for sales order ID. Yeah, sales order ID, that's what I want it for. All right, so why do I have error? Okay, so why do I have error? Invalid column name, sales order ID. And that's what I have here. Or is it not the table I'm using? Sales order header. I don't know why it was giving me error. So I don't know why it's giving that, but there's no error on this. So I have been able to run it successfully. It will run. If I want to get another column name, status, but sometimes my system actually lag. So please, pardon me. Status. All right. So what is the total rows in status? It's still the same thing. But let's see, we want to know the total number of rows. Let's look for if there's any place where there could be null value. All right, currency rate ID. Currency rate ID. I'll move it here and then run my code. So this is giving me 13,000. The others were giving me 30,000. All right, so let me take that status again. So I said the so I'll run the two of them. All right, so can you see the difference? The other one contains null value, which is the currency rated ID. This one does not contain any null value. It's giving you the complete row. 31,000, this is 13,000. And here we go. This count works for every row. So if we pick even rows that are not numeric, let's get rows that are numeric. I'll say credit card ID. No, that's not numeric. Let's go and look for sales. Subtotal. Subtotal. So if I give subtotal, give here to subtotal, it will still run and give me what is in subtotal. So count gives us this, but on its own, it doesn't necessarily make sense. So you just say, okay, what's the total number of people there? Okay, 31,465. Okay. They will just be looking at you. Okay, that's the total sales we have. Okay. On its own, that's the total sales, but there needs to be something that needs to be added to it for it to make sense. And this is where we have group by. Group by. So we want to know why this is a total. Why this is total, let me go and I get column. Let me get columns that are not so much. Let's see, I want a column that has some form of repetition. All right, so this is not a customer table, so I expect that there will be repetition here. So I'll pick customer ID. So I want to group by customer ID. But for me to group by customer ID, I also would like to, select it. So I would like to select it. So I want to see the customer. I want to see the customers I am grouping it by. So what it will do is by the customer ID, it's going to group this total we have here. I will create another, I'll create here so you will see what I'm talking about. So this is the original total we count of subtotal we have. Then this when you group them. So I want to group them by customer ID. By customer ID, I'll close it. So watch what happens here. I'll run this code and it gives us 31,465. Then on its own, that is the total, but let us group it so that we know what the total is by the customer. So I will run it, I will then run this one. So we have an error here. Level 15. State 1, line 11, incorrect syntax near the keyword group. What is the incorrect syntax? Okay, sorry. I closed it here. Sorry about that. I closed it there. So I will run it again. Now here we are. By the customer, it's telling you that this total, all right, let me run the two of them. This total you see, 31,000. If you group it by the customer, what makes, you're not trying to know what makes up this total. And here we are. These are the customers that gave us this subtotal by their number. And if I want to go further to say, okay, I want to know the ones that did, the customers that gave us the most, or the customers that gave us more. So I will just go here and order by, I will use 1, explain to you. By doing a lot of things at a time, please follow me. Okay, it's not taking 1. Perhaps this does not work for 1. So let me. Customer ID. Oh, that could be because of this. Oh yeah, that's because of it. So now let me explain, guys. This is the total. This is the subtotal without grouping it by anything. But this is the total when I group it by. So I group it and order by days. I need to also say whether it's descending or ascending order. So I want to use descending order because I want to see the highest first. Why am I getting this? Oh, sorry, I'm grouping by customer ID when I'm supposed to be grouping by sales. All right, so what happened is I group by customer ID. So it's just going to pick up the customer with the highest number, and that is it. So, but I have group by sale, which is the right thing. What's the problem again? Oh. Sorry, I'm supposed to do 2 here. Don't worry, I'm going to explain. All right, so let's go. So here we are, we have this total number, which is a total count, the total sales, subtotal sales, and it gave us 30, by counts, remember, this is counts. It's not on its own, this is just counts, remember, it is not a subtotal cell, it's just the number of rows. That's what count gives you, number of rows. So it gave us that we have 31,000. But in these rows, there are some numbers that are repeated. There are some customers that did more transactions than the other. And these customers that did more transactions than the other, we want to know them. We want to know how many transactions they were able to do. And that's why we group them by customer ID. So on its own here, it just gave us everything and it's ranked everyone the same. So we don't know what is happening. We don't know who is actually giving us the most sales. So we want to be able to know, we want to know this. That's why we decided to go as far as, okay, group this thing by customer ID. Let's know the customers that are giving us more sales. And we group them by customer ID. I think group them by customer ID, we want to, it's okay, so this number of sales we have here, we want to so this number of sales we have here, we want to be able to count and know the people that gave us more number of sales. This is not the same thing as the total number of sales. We're talking about inflow. Like how many times did they the transaction. How many transactions did we have? So we noticed that customer 11,091 gave us 28 sales, as well as 11,176. These two are the top. Then followed by this. So if I want to know the first 10 or the first 20, I will then come here and put top 20. Oh, sorry, I will not do it there. I will do it here. That's the place I'm grouping. Top 20. And I'll still run the two of them. So at this point, it gave me only the top 20. You can see the top 20. And that's how simple it is. That's how simple count is. Do we have any question? I want to attend questions now. IBS, please go ahead.
I don't understand why we have that two there. Order by two descending.
Good. So we have two columns that we picked, column 1 and column 2. These are two columns. So when you are running code, after mentioning this column names, you can, in case you don't want to start writing, a long code and start typing long words, you can actually reference each of these columns based on their number based on the way you mentioned them. So the one that came second, the number 2 is subtotal. That's why I gave it 2 here. So what it means is that order by subtotal. So it's the same thing as if I had said order by subtotal.
Okay.
Subtotal. So that's the same thing it would have given me. Let's run it. Where do we have error? All right, so I'm going to give it a name. All right, so if I'm ordering by this subtotal, I need to pick it up like this because that's how it's seeing it. Or I can give it an alias. We'll come to that later. Excuse me. All right, then this should go. All right, so now when you look at it, they are just the same. You can see. So this is just a standard way of doing your thing, writing your query, make it look more elegant, show that you know what you're doing. But though there is one more thing we have not done. You can see here, name, no column name. We don't have column. Most times when you aggregate a column, it doesn't come with any name. So what we do is we use an alias. So this column, we want to call it as count of total. You can call it this way. Give it any name you want, but let it be descriptive. I'll use it the same thing here. So when I run it, I will now have a column name. So you can see count of subtotal. So this will help you name your columns the way you want. Even not just this one, you can actually name this one. You can name this one as costs. If you think it's too much, customer ID, and it will respond to you. So you can see the first one as cost ID, customer ID, and that's how simple it is. More questions, guys? More questions, please. I want this to be very interactive. I need people to talk. I want us to discuss, please. Yes, so Vincent, are we good? Are we following? Ruth?
Yeah, following.
Okay, Ruth, you're flowing.
Yep.
Excellent. Vincent, are you with us? Josh, is this making sense?
Yeah, I'm just following this. You know, I've missed a couple of lectures in SQL, but
It's
just
still the same. Josh is still the same. Even if you've missed 20, it's still the same. There's nothing so much. Each of them are the couple. But does this make sense? Can you actually
yeah.
run this code on your system and it makes sense to you? If you can run it, I would advise you to run it. Everyone. Chidi, are we good? Chidi is not here with us. Abies, you're good?
Yes, I'm fine. But
I'm here.
Are you good? Is it making sense? I want us to talk. Let's make this thing very interesting and interactive. Don't relax. Let's talk.
If it's possible, can you go again?
Yeah, why not? I'll go again.
Thank
All
you.
right, so let me go through this again. Please let's pay attention. So in every programming language, we have what is called aggregate function. And most of these aggregate functions are this. Average could also be mean. In statistics, we have maximum, minimum, count, sum, and there are still some other aggregate function out there. The aggregate function is meant to make meaning out of our huge data. So data comes in millions, trillions, billions. You don't want to start counting them. You don't want to start counting them manually. So aggregate function helps make meaning out of it. So say you have millions of data, but you don't know how many they are. You can use aggregate function to know how many they are, like know the count of data of the rows. And that's where count comes. All you need to do is to just say count and you put in the column name. If you want to use a particular column, which I recommend that you use a particular column. And what should this particular column be? Particular column should be the primary key most times. It should be that key that is unique in that column. In that, it should be that key that is unique in that table. Use it to know the total number of counts. It will give you the total number of counts so that wherever they are, because that key is unique and is required, there won't be null value. So I will recommend you use it. So all you need to do is to pick up this count. This is the function. As we can see it here, it's a function. You already know your normal select. So now you want to select count. So in a function, the count comes, the function comes, every function, as we see as we move on, comes with a bracket. And this bracket is where you put in your argument. And what is this argument? What you want to count. What you want to count, that's what it is. That column you want to do something on. It does, most times it's not always column. Sometimes it's that there are some complex query you need to write. But understand that when you see functions come with this argument. They are here to do something. So find out what the argument that you need to put. And you don't need to memorize this. You can just go online and check the syntax. Are we good? Even if you are in an interview, if you have an interview that wants you to memorize syntax, that's not a job for you. If you are anyone who is an IT person, if you find yourself in an interview that needs you to memorize syntax, that will not allow you to think of syntax, I think I would advise you wrong. That's not for you, because in real time, you're not memorizing syntax. You go out there and look for it. Not this knowledge has been democratized. Everyone has access to it. So why are you making me memorize it? I don't have to. All I need to do is to memorize the problem I want to use it to solve. That's what I need to focus on, and not to focus on memorizing syntax. Problem you want to solve is more important than putting that the tools you want to use to solve it. There is a word that said, let this problem drive the technology and not the technology drive the problem. So you have a function, you put in the argument inside the bracket, and this argument is what we have here. That's the name of the column. But we say on its own like this, it gives us it gave us the total number of rows. But this total number of rows on its own does not, yes, if that's all we need, fine, but it does not give us deeper insight on what is happening. So we say, let's know what it is let's know what it is, group it by a certain column. And that column will say, so sometimes some customers might do more transaction than the other. Let's know the volume of transaction done by customers. You want to know the volume of transaction done by customer. So this is what the problem, this is just exactly, this solves the problem. I want to know the volume of transaction done by customer. You select the customer ID. You select the customer ID. Let me remove that top. You select the subtotal, total count. Any column can be here because we are doing count, but it has to be a complete column. It has to be a complete column, not the column that has a null value. So I want to know the total counts of this subtotal. I want to know it by this customer. I want to know what each customer brought to the table. So to do that, first you select the customer name so that you will know you will be able to map the total to each customer. And then you select the counts because we want to know the total, the counts. But on its own like this, it will not run. Watch what happens. I can see I did not highlight the group by and the order by. So let me run this. See what it's telling us. Sales says order header dot customer ID is invalid in the selected list because it is not containing either an aggregate function or the group by. So it's telling us that you have actually selected customer ID from this table. It is there, but it's not contained in a group by. So if I run this, if I go ahead and run what you want me to run, what will happen is, let me run two of them. I need two, please. All right. So if you want me to run what you want me to run, what will happen is I will be able to get this 31,000, but I don't know the customer ID to attach it to. I will be able to get what the total you asked me, but the truth is that it does not belong to one customer ID. So can you give me a command so that I will be able to share this 31,463 according to each customer? That is why we have group by. Group by will share this total number by each customer, and that's what it did. But like this, it looks like everyone is 3 then 2. But we want to know the best performing customers. That's what we say order by 2. This 2 is the same thing as saying order by the total count. So when we do this, we will have this. So we've now come to understand that these are the best performing. And if I want to just know the best 20, the top 20, I will just use top up there. Or top 15, depending on what you want. Top 10, I will use it up there and I will run it. This will give us only the top 10. This is what this is all about. This tool that you see here is the same thing as the column, the position of the column name. And this is in position 2 because this is the first column and this is the second column. Any question?
Sorry, is it possible to run it without the group by? That we can still have the order by.
To run it without the group by.
Yes, then we can.
So when we run it without the group by, because you have to group it. Remember, understand the logic behind this. If you run it without the group by, it does not know how to group, how to share that total number. It doesn't know how to share it. Now watch. So it doesn't know how to share it because there's no group by. Can you see that?
Oh, okay.
Good. So, but when there is a group by, you're telling it, okay, so somebody gave you 50,000. They told you that this 50,000 belongs to everybody in your family. Let me not call it 50,000.
Not this one, 211. Not this one.
Are you talking to us?
Yeah, this one you have to enter another box. Yeah, just wait for 211.
Can you mute yourself?
That's like it's coming. I'm also waiting for this.
All right, so you're giving 50,000 naira, sorry, 50,000 pounds to share among everybody in your house, and there are 5 of you. And this 50,000 pounds, there is another place where they tell you to share it. Maybe mommy and daddy gets 20, 10 respectively, and then every other person will share the remaining 10, 10 out of 5 of you. When you get to your house, you did not find anybody in the house, or you find only your dad. You will not give your dad all the money because, of course, you don't know. Of course, you would. The money does not belong to only him, and even if he's not there, you don't even know how to share the money. You have to still keep the money. But when they all come, you tell them, this is how much I have given to everyone, and this is how I'm supposed to share it. Then you'll be able to group. Then each person is a group, and the amount allotted to them is that subtotal. So when I disable this group, this total will not know, this count will not know who to give it to. And that is why you enable it. And it will give it to them. So what does this mean? You cannot say count. You cannot use aggregate function without group by.
Okay.
You cannot use aggregate function without group by. Please take note of this. Thanks. More questions, please. Chidi.
Yeah, I'm okay.
We are good now.
Yeah, thank you.
Fatima, hello. You guys are the data people here. How is it going? Does this make sense?
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Good. Hello.
It is little by little. Yeah, it is.
Oh, beautiful. So as we start using this aggregate function, things will start unveiling. So let's go and use another aggregate function, and that's min and max. So min and max, just like I told you, they are function, just like this, just like counts. What will min give you? Min will give you the minimum number there. Max will give you the maximum number. Now let's go and do this. I didn't show you the syntax. This is the syntax. This is the syntax. Column name, that's it. call the function and the column name. All right, so let's do this. All right, so let's run the code again. So I want to select minimum, subtotal, subtotal. From where? From the table. And this is a table. There's no need to repeat myself. So there is an acronym called in programming called DRY. DRY stands for do not repeat yourself. Do not repeat yourself. So take note of that. I can read it up. Okay, so if I do this, this will go in. Okay, so let me call it, let me give it a name as minimum subtotal. So this will go into this table, go to the subtotal column and get me the minimum and give it to me. This is the minimum. That's what it does. If I pick it again and do the maximum, I just need to change this. And you will see them. What happened? Why is it taking so long? Took so long to run anyway. So you can see the maximum, you can see the minimum, and that's how simple it is. But to make it also make sense, to make it make sense, I could just come here, pick the same code here. I'll paste it here. So I want the, let me not use subtotal, let me use, I want to use total. All right, so I want to know the person who paid the most tax amount. Or the least tax, the most tax, however you want to call it. So I want to call it tax. So I'll come here, I'll change this to tax. Minimum. Minimum tax. So I will name it by day. I hope this works. Order by days and group by days. All right, so give me the customer ID and their minimum, the customers with the least, the customers and their minimum spend. So you want to know, you want to get the minimum amount customers spent. You want to know the minimum amount if each customer has spent, and name it minimum. So minimum tax each customer paid. Name it minimum tax. It's English does not make sense. Minimum tax. Of course, you're going to group it by customer ID because it's an aggregate function. And then when we run it like this, we have an error. So let's see what the error is. So it's telling us, no, it's not saying this. It's saying, I am not saying this. I change it to minimum tax. So let's see if that works. All right, so it's running. And we ordered it in the sending order. Taking time. I think most of the issue here is my system. That's why I had to even restart it before we started. Okay. So you can see the customer ID and the minimum tax they paid. So the minimum tax paid by this particular customer, the minimum tax paid by this particular customer is 10,375 on the transaction they had. All right, so I could also go ahead and say the maximum tax. Could give it maximum tax, and I want to order it by, of course, I order it by the categorical column, and so I will group it by the categorical column. I don't want to order it this time around because it doesn't make sense. It's not giving me any meaning. Right? So here we are running it. So I'm getting 2 columns this time around instead of 3 columns instead of 2. So now you can see this person for customer ID 14324 paid the minimum of 62 pounds, $162, and the maximum of $183. And then you can see this. You can still do more calculation with this. You can actually go as far as saying you want more. You want the difference in. So let's take. I hope you're warming up because you're going to start doing your own. Difference of 2 columns in SQL. All right, so in same place, it's giving me this compared to found X value and return an integer. All right, so this is expression. So all I want to do is I'll pick this and come here. I just want to see the difference between this and this. We are here, we're doing mathematics. So difference minimum. Okay, so I'll make it maximum. So it does not give me error. So it does not give me minus, negative number. All right, so I'll call it as difference in tax. Okay, I'll run it. So I have an error, tax, difference in tax. This is supposed to be all right. So and it's closed there. It's not supposed to close there. I need us to be interactive. All right, so this is running. So we have an issue here.
You
This
actually
is
did
not.
minimum try.
Is it minimum? No. Oh, wow. Are you serious? Thank you. Shows you're following. Yeah, but it's still giving us 4, which is not correct. So what is the problem? So apparently I used the wrong code. The difference function compares to Sanders value. I'm not looking for Sanders. So that's not what I'm looking for. All right, so subtract. So this is math function. Everything you need is here. Sum. All right, so I'm not seeing what I am looking for. So what I need to do is, since I'm not seeing it, I will just go ahead. Remember what I told you? Remember what I told you? I'll put this in brackets. Remember mathematics. If you have function to use, no need to try using what is not function. But now I did not find anything to use, so I'm using normal arithmetic. I hope it works. So I just said maximum tax amount minus minimum tax amount. And here we go, gave us this. All right, time for all the big questions to come. You must ask questions because I am sure a lot of you do not understand. Ask questions. I'm curious, you can debug my code to see my output to see anyone that is wrong.
Sorry, can I ask?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask.
All right, so just think of it.
I know you played it. I know you did play it. I was just thinking more in terms of. I mean, are you just trying to show us how to do things? Like, what would be why do you want to get a max tax minus the main tax and group it by customer ID? Like, I mean, I can't think of a reason why you want to do that, or are you just showing us just how to do a query, or would this sort of be something for someone to do in terms of getting business insights?
Oh, so you cannot count 10 when you have not counted 1. We're not counting in tens.
Okay.
We are counting in ones. We are not solving business problem right now. We are learning how to write SQL. Don't be in a hurry, Casey.
Sorry.
Calm down. But this is also a business problem. I want to know the difference in tax they paid by each customer. I want to know the lists tax a customer paid, maximum tax a customer paid, and the differences in tax they paid. That's also a business problem. All right, so any other question? Why does it look, why is nobody talking? I need us to talk. Are we good with this? If we're good, then we move on.
What did they load do now?
All right, so it's time for everybody to do what I do. I didn't call you hello, but calm down. It's time to even call you now. Now it's time to run your own code. My own code is there, but I want you to find the difference. Let me get. I want you to find the minimum maximum, and difference between the minimum and maximums amount spent by each customer. If you're done with that, I want in another row, add in another row, each customer's spent the most. Which customer spent the most? Okay, let's do this one first, so I don't confuse you. All right, guys. The code is already there. Let's see what you can do. 3 minutes. Your time has started. Three minutes, write this code for me and post it for me. Ensure you run it before you send the code to me, please. Ensure you run it. Time is ticking. Yes. Who is done?
Cancel.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I'm lost. I can't. I'm trying to do it, but maybe because my SQL is not yet set up. Like I haven't done the adventure framework. Maybe that's why it's not working on my, because I'm trying to do it now and I'm having challenges getting the numbers, even the table.
We didn't know that there is still someone who is at a level of getting adventure data work into SSMS. Please kindly solve that. Kindly resolve that. We have videos on that, please. Kindly resolve it. All right. Any other person who is done? This 3 minutes is gone. What's happening, guys? We have not even gone to complex queries with SQL. We're just doing the average thing and nobody's talking.
No, I'm not done. No. 18 for results on code. Results. Hello, are you doing it? Shady, are you trying it out? Vincent, are
My
you with
system is
us?
hanging for now.
The system should stop hanging. Fatima, are you doing it? Casey,
No.
are you done?
To go out, so I just came back in now.
All right, so there's work up there. Please go ahead and do it. Ruth, how is it going?
It's going well. Yeah.
All right, so I'm waiting. Like someone has posted results from ABS. ABS, I'm going to run your code. Because we are using the same, so I can actually run your code here. So let me go through your code before I run it. Select customer, minimum subtotal. So we talked about amounts. ABS, please correct your code. Pay attention to details, it's part of your skills.
Okay.
Talking about, we're talking,
Okay.
about this column here, total. This is the column we're talking about.
Okay.
Total due.
Oh, wow. I saw it though.
Someone has posted Chidi. Thank you. Let us see your work. Select customer ID, tax amount. Again, Chidi, we are not dealing with tax amount here. Go again and update your code. We are dealing with total due, this column. Total due. Please take notes. Chidi, are you with me?
Yeah.
This is the column we are dealing with. Update your code and send. Make sure you run it on your system. Someone has responded. ABS, let's see your code. Select this minimum subtotal as minimum total due. Okay. Maximum subtotal as maximum total due. Okay, the difference subtotal total due. And since this code is okay, I'll run it. All right, excellent job. Yes, job. Good job. All right, others, I'm waiting. Let's see how you're able to solve yours. Guys, come on, respond. Casey, where are you? Why haven't you responded?
Honestly, where I am now, I'm trying to respond.
Please respond. Fatima, how is it going? Ruth? Chidi, please, I need your updated code. Keep pushing it. Chidi, remember you don't need to write too much complex code. All you just need is to understand these simple codes. So fight to understand it. Strive to understand it. And it will worth it. I'm waiting, guys. Somebody has posted. Chidi, good one. Chidi said customer ID. Give me customer ID. The minimum total. I say minimum total due. Maximum. Are you seeing your error, Chidi? So you want to get us the minimum and you're repeating the minimum. So you want maximum here, but you said minimum here. So correct it. And then you want us to get the difference between the minimum and maximum. So it needs to be minus something. So please correct it. I'll leave your code here until you correct it, so you know what is wrong. Something needs
Sorry,
to,
I thought you said find minimum, maximum,
yes,
and
so you
so
said
minimum.
minimum here, which is correct. Well, you wanted to say maximum here, but you said minimum again here. And then you want to subtract the minimum from the maximum, but you only put maximum here. There's no minus, there's no minimum. So correct it, you're doing well, you're coming up. Good job. Good job. Someone has posted again. Vincent, thank you. Let's see your code. I'm going to tell your daughter if you did not write a good code. Maximum. I'm also going to tell your daughter if you wrote a good code. And you did. I will tell her when she grew up. Congratulations. Okay. Thank you, Vincent. Good job. You did not fall our upcoming developer hand.
Thank you.
All right, we're waiting. Fatima, where are you? Hello, is your system still hanging? Aggregate function is beautiful. Let's use it. Let's make the most out of it. Chidi, correct your code and send it back. Hello, I'm waiting. Fatima, I'm waiting. Who else is there? Josh has system issues. Sorry, he has not installed its SMS. Adventure Works. Chidi, I am waiting for your updated code. Ruth, you've not given me your code. Ruth, Fatima, hello. Are you kidding me? Are you saying I have only, okay, at least I have a rescue here, ABS. 3 data professionals and you have not given me one single code. Come on, guys, don't do this to me. Don't give me this heartbreak. I am waiting. Done, can post it. Someone has posted. That is root. Let's run your code. Says give me customer ID, minimum total due as minimum total due, maximum total due as maximum total due, and their difference as different total due, and your code seems to be okay. And that's it. Thank you. I have a rescue to rescue, but that's not enough. That's 50% of data, people. Sorry, I'm Odibatuis. I asked for more. Guys, I'm waiting, please. I need response. Give me response. Fatima, what is happening? You're taking so long for this baby work. What is happening? Fatima is not doing the work, otherwise she'll be responding to me, and that's not cool. You did not say anything in case you wanted to say something. You did not say anything. So unmute and say what you want to say.
The person that is disturbing me is the one that wants to talk. And you refuse to talk, let me speak now.
Just give the person code to go and write so you can focus.
Right, God. Keep quiet and stop disturbing me. No, my kids got chicken pox and just stressing me up. I'll try to work on it.
Though chicken pox in this country. Don't worry, at least he has gotten his own share. After 7 days, it will go, and then we will not again. All right, I'm waiting. Hello, what's happening? Right, you guys, Chidi, where's your updated code? Please don't give up now. You're almost there. Chidi, I'm still waiting for your updated code. This is your code now. I'm waiting to update it. What is happening, guys? This response is not really interesting at all. And I'm moving to another aggregate function. So I need response. Chidi, it looks like you're not making any more effort. I've already told you what you're supposed to do, but you're not doing it. Because if you're making any more effort, you should have gotten this answer, and it's so simple. Just put your minimum here. Put the minus, put your minimum here. Change this minimum to maximum, and then that's it. You do not have reason not to give me answers. Hello? If your system is not hanging, then I should expect answer. Actually, I should expect answer. I don't expect your system to be hanging up to this point. All right, I will move on, and I will believe that you understood what I have done. So the next is on aggregate function is the next on aggregate function is we don't count. So we have some.
Please, now I have a question to ask you, but let me just wait before you finish here.
No, go ahead and ask.
Because I tried to run my own code, but I keep getting an error message because, and I've tried with myself to see if I can find that the cell table, the one you say cells. Though I could find it, but I've tried to say select from the table to see if I can actually get the table, but I don't know. It's not.
If you can
I can't
actually
find
get what?
the table, like this table, this cells order header, like the table you just showed us where we saw the total due. I've been trying to
Yes.
see if I can get the whole table, but I don't know. It's telling me that invalid object name. So
You go and check whether you are on the right AdventureWorks, on the right database here.
AdventureWorks 2019.
Are you there?
So I'm there. Which of it am I going to click?
Are you on
The
AdventureWorks,
tables.
the right database? If you're there, then you need to go and look for sales. Or you can just open a column, open a new query editor, and then select all. You select all from, then you type this as the table name. So that's how simple it is. I'm not going to type it for you.
Don't worry, I know. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's move on. So we want to do sum. See, if you have a good understanding of one of the aggregate function, how to do it, it's just the same. You can see it's just a function. Then the next one will be average. So I'm just going to pick it up and then right there. I'll just go select sum. What is the sum? I want to select sum of the total due. And put anything there. Remember, it has to be a number. From where I'll select the table. And it's going to give me the total amount due. This is what it gives, it's giving me so much amount of money. Again, all I just need to do is to group by a certain group. And you can group by any category. Any category that makes sense to you, because I need to use it here. You can group by any category. And when I do this, this is going to give me the total amount, total sales by any customer. And here we are. This is what we have. Total sales by any customer. This is what we have. That's how simple it is. If you just understand the first one, you can do others. And if I want to go ahead and do more, I will just attach it in our original column that is working. The long table. I will just say, I'll just take this one and add it to, I could just put it here. Can be anywhere, but let me not confuse anybody. I put it here. Total sales as total sales. And that is it. Just like that. And your code will keep running. If I also bring average, I could do it the same way. You can see the total sale is there. Can you do average for me, guys? I just added total here, total sale. Let me just bring it down. Bring it up so you can see it. Good. Remember, SQL does not care about line. So it's white space, so it's cool. This will run. So here we are. Can you do this for me? I need for average. Just go and attach it here. Average syntax is simple. Look at it here, AVG. AVG, then bracket. So I just need you to go and do it for me. Let me put it here. What is supposed to be inside? Put what is supposed to be inside as average sales. What is supposed to be inside? Please put it. I'm not going to tell you what to put inside. And then give me your results. I'm waiting, guys. Merely you push and get one going. The next thing is just manipulation. And this is super important. Next thing is just manipulation, guys. Are you on it, guys? I need answers. Let's do the average for me. I need answers. Okay, looks like someone has sent a message. From Ruth. Okay, so let's run Ruth's code. Because this thing is simple. So before I run the code, I always like reading it. So give me the customer ID minimum total due like before as minimum, maximum as maximum, the difference, then give me the total. Okay. Please include, this is good, but I wanted it to include the one I did, sum. So excellent job. Just include in your own code, include sum to it, and that's it. Excellent job, Ruth. I like that. I need response, guys. Do this thing. It's beautiful. Do this. The more you do it, the better it becomes. There is no, you cannot know it if you're not doing it. I can assure you that. No one, not even me, nobody knows it without doing it. All right, ABS, let's try your own code. Okay, so ABS banking on the previous code. Okay, you added some, you added the average. Let's see. And boom, excellent. We've got 6 columns working. It's making sense. Let's push. 2 answers correct. Chidi, you can do it. Where are you? I am waiting, guys. I need response. Please, like I need response. Do something. Chidi, where are you, please? Can you respond? Remember you logged on with 2 systems. You should be giving me 2 answers. Okay, Ruth, this is your updated code. That's good. Don't worry. You will soon start looking for job, Shady, and then you will see a knowledge of SQL is essential. And then you will come and meet Bona or Cheka. So this job, in fact, all the job I've been seeing, they said SQL is needed. What do I do now? Do it now. So you don't have to do it then. Do it now. Vincent, you're not giving me response. No one has responded. Shady. One thing I can assure you guys is it doesn't matter whether it is correct or not. You have to make attempts. Not making attempt is not encouraging at all. It's not encouraging. You're not helping yourself. I've already given you a date when this internship will be over. And if it's over, that's it. That's it. And you will look at yourself, what did I achieve? Meanwhile, you're the one stopping yourself from achieving, not nobody's stopping you from achieving. All right, so Chidi, this code you sent me says minimum, maximum. Let me separate this. Minimum, good. So it's nice you format your code. This also will work. I would like to format it properly. Maximum, the name should be close to the brackets. Don't separate it. And maximum. And you'll be surprised now. This code you are afraid of giving us works. Why are you afraid of giving us Chidi? It did not work. Did anything happen to you? Even if it didn't work, did anything happen to you? This thing is so interesting. There is no programming language as interesting as this. I can assure you. And another beauty of it is that it's making sense to you. So this is for Vincent, correct. So, but let me see your code that I ran. So Vincent, try to format your code properly. Try formatting code properly, so it looks neat. And I think there's also another place to format it. So I like my SQL. My SQL will just easily format it for you. Right, I didn't see anywhere to format it here. All right, so we are good. We are good. We've gotten like 3 or 4, is it? 4 responses. We got one, two, three, four. Oh, 5. 5 responses. Okay. And that is good. Any question? Any question, guys? Any question? I'm not going to teach like wildcard in between. We'll gradually bring those ones in. You don't necessarily need it for you guys, and so I'm not going to bother you with this, but I'm going to bother you with this. Question time before we go to SQL joins. No question? All right, good. So when we talk about joins in SQL, we're talking about 2 tables. Earlier, when we were learning database creation, we had the notion of primary key and secondary key. So when we have 2 keys, there's 1 key in one table and that same key is in another table, perhaps as a foreign key, that means those 2 tables can communicate. So it was important we did it that time so that we understand what they are doing, what we're doing. That means those 2 tables can communicate. So in joins, there are several joins, and we're going to limit this training to 3 kinds of joins. And the joins are inner join, which is like the default join. So the inner join, it's like saying A and B, joining them together and they will be communicating at the point where they have something in common. Where they will have something in common. And you join them on at the point where they have something in common, a column that it's in both sides. You join them on a column that is on both sides. And what really happens when you join them on a column that is on both sides, remember it's inner join. So what happened is the data that it will give you will be only this data on this part that is shaded, because that is what is common between the 2 tables. This one, it will not give you. It will not give you here anything here, but it will give you everything here inside. That's what inner join means. That place where we meet, what is common between us, that's what inner join means. So the inner join keywords select records that have matching value in both tables. So here we are, we have two tables here. Product ID, product name, categorical column, ID, and prices. So when you check here, you can see that we have on the category table, we have this category, but it is still here as a foreign key. So when you want to join it, you join this table and this table on this key, category ID. And that's all there is. In fact, that is all there is to join. You join them on a particular key that column that is similar to them, that is common to them. And the difference between inner join and the left join in code is just changing the inner join to left join. If you want to use right join, change it to the right join. I'm going to explain that to you, but before then, let us see what this code is. So what you want to do is you want to select any particular column you want. Here on this particular table, product ID, product name, and category name were selected. So product ID, product name are from this table, then category name from the next table. They are selected. And when they are selected, they are joined on this table. Categories on. So join from, you pick the first table, from the first table, join it, inner join on the second table. Then where are you joining it? What is the column? You pick the column product.category ID equal to product.category ID and categories.category ID. So this is referencing the category column, the category ID column on product table, using it to reference the category column on category table. That way, they can you can actually fetch any particular name you want, any particular column you want. And if we want to bring it to what we are doing, it is very simple. So remember what we have here, customer ID. We have a customer ID here, and we don't know how to recognize these customers. We don't know how to recognize these customers for it to make sense. Let's look for column name that has customer ID. Okay, so let's go here. This is the sales order header. It has, let's see the IDs it has. It has several IDs. So it has customer ID, which is what we have been using. And we want to be able to get the customer name. So let's see the other table. This table is business sales.store. So there's sales.store has customer does not have customer ID. So let's look for another table that has customer ID on the sales table. On the sales, any sales table that has customer ID. So let's see. This is salesperson. Let's see. It's possible. Salesperson, customer ID, business identity. We don't have customer ID here. So it's not here. So that's salesperson. Sales reason, salesperson quota history. So let's check that. Let's check this. We don't have customer ID here. So now you can't be doing this manually. You are supposed to go to the entity relationship diagram to easily visualize that. Can you now see where the entity relationship diagram we did earlier comes to play? So I don't want to get the entity relationship diagram. If I want to get it from this database, I will need to come here. This is the database diagram here. I will need to come here and get it. but it will take a long time because the tables are much. So let's look for this.
Sales customer.
Says customer.
The customer has.
Oh, the sales.customer. Thank you. Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So sales.customer has customer ID, but does not have customer name. Not fair. This is not fair. Person ID, sales.person. This is person, isn't it? No. Oh, business entity. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Let's run sales.customer. Let's join it on sales.customer and pick some information there. Okay, so we want let's say we want, what do we know? What do we have here that we don't have here? This is customer ID. There is no person ID. Okay, so let's get territory ID from this column, from this table. So this is the column we want from this table. But remember, we're joining it on this table, customer ID. So let me go back to that. I want to get from here, another table I want to get is, what's the name again? I want to get territory ID from another table. I want it to become first. All right, so I want it to come first. Doesn't matter if it comes first or not, but let's keep it as the last. Let me bring this down. Good, so we can see what we're doing. Territory ID. So all this table, everything here is from one table, except this. But we want this. All you need to do is, so we have been able to query everything here. And on this, so everything here is coming from this table, except this. So next thing, what do I want to do? I will go to the syntax. The syntax said I should use inner join. So I'll pick this inner join. I'll add it here. From this table, inner join, I like it under. Inner join, what are you inner joining? This other table. So that's what we're doing. And where are we? The next is on what? That on is the column you want to join them in. So you want to join them on, so I'll pick this. This is a table. This is a table name dots. Let me continue with this thing, the curly brace, this pattern of referencing column. This on this equal to, let me also pick this table. Equal to this. Remember, it's the same number, it's the same column. And I want to it by this. So now I cannot just group like this. I need to put it this way. so that we know what we are doing. All right, so I hope this works. We did not do anything different. We just called all the normal columns we are calling. The normal columns we are calling. And having called those normal columns, we added another table here. The challenge we're going to have is this table is not on the aggregate function. It's not on the group by, so it might really throw an error. So let's run it. So before we run it, we said from the first table, join it, or you can say inner join it on the second table, where the column from the first table is equal to the column on the second table. That's what this means. And then you run it. But we will have this issue, ambiguous column territory ID. So I will take this territory ID. I want to put this territory ID. I want to also group it by age. I'm grouping it by two stuff, but these may not really capture it because they are not the same size. So may have an issue here. Yes, so they are not the same size, so we're really going to have an issue here. But I could choose to remove this. I don't want to use this. So that means we'll be grouping it by territory ID only. We're going to group it by territory ID only. All right, so let's run this and see what the error is again. So ambiguous column territory ID. All right, so this is what we will do. Now, and that is the standard. I want to alias each of these tables so that it will directly point at that table. And this is how we alias table. So I could, by the side, I could just put S, O for order, and then C for customer. This is customer table, this is sales, and we don't put S here. So for every table that comes from this place, I will go in front of it and I will put S. For every table that comes, but that will not be there, it will be inside. It's S dot, because this table comes from there. S dot, S dot, S dot. All these tables come from the same place. S dot and then S dot. But this table has just one, C dot. So that means from here, since I've already aliased it, I don't need to put this. I'll just give it C dot. C dot, and then S dot. Then this last one, so since we're talking about the territory, I don't also need to do that. I just need to give it, again, I need to give it, that's C dot territory. All right, I just hope everybody's following me. I hope everyone is following me. I did not do magic. Our code is executing. It's taking time. All right, so here we are. It's been able to give us this excellent code from 2 tables. Now let me break this thing down. This is the code we are working on. I'm going to actually take it out. Put it on a new table. Sorry. On a new screen. So I want to select, this point says, select this table as this. Let me separate them. Let me do this so that the code will become readable. Okay, as this, and see all the columns. So these are all the columns we're selecting. And then we are selecting with, so these are all the columns we are selecting. Meanwhile, this column up to this point belongs to the first table. It belongs to the first table, this table. Whereas only this column belongs to the second table, which is this table. To join them together, I used inner join. This inner join, I could also change it because it's the default join. You don't necessarily need to put the inner. You can just say join. I join this table on this table using this column. It's okay. This is the way to put it. I join this table to this table on these columns, Whereas this column belongs to the first table, this column belongs to the second table. And this is the column they have in common. That's how they communicate. And I brought all those our calculations, and I added only one column from the second table. And I brought all those our calculations forward. And that column, it's what we use to aggregate our calculation, and it gave us that calculation based on that column. And what is this S and E or C here? These are aliases like this. They're aliases like this. So look at this. I could choose not to put this as, it should be able to work. They're aliases. As makes them easy for you to read. If I don't put that as, it should be able to give us that. It should still be able to give us those alias or those names. So these are just aliases. S, wherever you see sales.sales order head, it will see it as S. Sales.customer, it will see it as C. That makes your code easier to read and faster. So you don't start writing, repeating the table name. Don't start repeating the table name. And that's what we did here. Everywhere we saw sales header, order header, we replace it with S. Any column that belongs to this table, we attach S to it. This is the same thing as, let me keep it somewhere here. So this thing now, due, S.total due is the same thing as sales.sales order header.total due. This long thing is the same thing as this short thing. And that's the importance of these aliases. And we have been able to run it, group it by the categorical variable, only categorical variable we have there. And here we have it. Makes sense. This territory has this transaction. I could move this to this point, separate it with comma, and remove the comma here. Run it so that the territory, the way you organize your column, that's the way they appear for you. And it's important. So that the territory ID will come first. All right, time for your question. A very important topic for QAs is this. So time for your questions, QAs. For D8s, we'll do it over and over again, so they will understand. If you don't get it now, they will get it later. But QAs, there's no over and over with you again. So ask your questions now. Oh, so everyone understood it. Beautiful. And that's the end of today's class. I won't be able to do the right and the left join. We'll stop it here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time. And I will stop recording.
Thank you.